After first Uncle and Aunt Rose died in a car accident, my cousin Lily was sent to a welfare institute. I felt so terribly sorry for her, so I convinced my parents to adopt her. My parents treated her like their own daughter, raising her with immense love and spoiling her endlessly. But on the day I graduated from college, when Dad announced I would inherit the company, she, with a face full of bitter resentment, set fire to our house, burning me and my parents to death. Everything belonging to our family was rightfully mine. How could she even think of competing with me? I was always so obedient and understanding, yet you clearly still treated me like an outsider. You all deserve to die. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day my cousin was about to be sent to the Welfare Institute. I pretended to cry, clutching my stomach and saying I had a stomach ache, tricking my parents into taking me to the hospital. This time, I won't let her step foot in our house again. A light rain began to fall, pattering softly on the umbrella. My cousin, Lily, with red-rimmed eyes, stood before first Uncle and Aunt Rose's gravestones. Her expression was vacant, her thin body trembling uncontrollably. This poor child, someone in the crowd sighed, and those around them began to express sympathy. But it was only sympathy. When it came to actually taking responsibility, no one wanted to bring a burden like that into their home. I squeezed Mom's hand tightly, perhaps hurting her. She looked down at me, gently asking, "What's wrong, Daisy?" I shook my head, but my downcast eyes turned cold. Lily, pitiful. Of course, losing her parents was tragic, but I knew that behind Lily's innocent, pitiful facade lay a born sadist. The pain of being burned to death in the raging inferno still felt fresh on my skin. Just thinking about the agony of my flesh searing made my body tremble uncontrollably. As the flames were about to engulf me and my parents, Lily appeared, standing outside the locked iron gate. Her eyes blazed with hatred as she spoke in a chilling voice. "You claim to treat us equally, but in the end the company still goes to that girl. You always treated me like a dog, nothing more. You all deserve to die. Everything belonging to our family is mine. How can she compete with me?" Lily's maniacal laughter echoed in my ears. I desperately pleaded with her to spare us, offering her anything she wanted, but to my horror, she just poured another can of gasoline. "Aren't you a family? Then go to hell and keep loving each other there." This was the obedient daughter my family had raised since childhood. Everything I had, Lily had too, to ensure she never felt like an outsider. Often, my parents even paid more attention to her than to me. But clearly, that wasn't enough to satisfy Lily. If she didn't get something, she'd immediately accuse us of favoritism, believing we owed her. During the company inheritance ceremony, my parents had carefully considered and evaluated everything. The reason they chose me to inherit was simple. I had ambition, determination, and a natural talent suitable for the business world. Lily, on the other hand, had mediocre abilities, high aspirations but little practical skill. Inheriting the company wasn't a game, it was about the survival of the entire family. My parents had privately told me that even if Lily couldn't inherit the company, she was still family and shouldn't suffer any disadvantages. She would receive a larger share of the family's assets, real estate, and cash, and a portion of the company's profits each year. At the time, I thought, we're sisters, sharing more with her is only right, and I happily agreed. But what about her? She harbored such hatred that she murdered us. She repaid immense kindness with malice, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Not in this lifetime. Without my consent, let's see who dares bring that monster into my home. Second Uncle, please have mercy on me. I have no home to go to and no one wants to adopt me. I'm my father's only blood relative. After the funeral, Lily rushed to kneel before my father. The relatives who were about to leave all turned to look at our family. These relatives, who had just been loudly proclaiming their sympathy, quickly found excuses to avoid the actual responsibility of adopting her, as if afraid they'd be too late to escape. It was only after my death that I finally understood. Lily had been targeting my family's financial stability from the very beginning. Back then, she deliberately acted friendly, holding my hand and feigning helplessness. "Daisy, you're so kind. If only I could live with you every day, that would be wonderful. I don't have parents anymore. I really want a family." I was fooled into thinking she was pitiful and actively suggested my parents adopt her. The result: my family raised an ungrateful wolf. In this life, I won't propose her adoption again, but Lily won't stay quiet. My parents, kind-hearted their whole lives, naturally couldn't ignore her plight, especially with the relatives constantly meddling. That's right, second brother. Your family is well off and you only have one young daughter. Your expenses aren't heavy. Besides, first brother's family also left behind compensation money. You surely can't just stand by, can you? Hearing these words, a fire ignited within me. What do you mean, only one young daughter? These people's patriarchal mindset was too ingrained. In my past life, I would never have caught the implicit meaning in their words. Seeing my parents' expressions, which seemed to be wavering, I quickly spoke up. Third uncle, that's not right at all. Although our family looks well off, we're actually deep in debt. We wouldn't dare accept first uncle's compensation money. The adoption should really be taken on by you, third uncle. Perhaps no one expected a child like me to say such things. Everyone was stunned. Even my mother looked at me with a puzzled expression, asking in a low voice, "Daisy, don't you like your cousin? But she's so pitiful. Didn't you always want a sister or brother before? Now you have your wish." My mother was still as gentle and kind as she had been before Lily burned her to death. She held me tight in her arms, and even as her flesh was consumed by the flames, she bit her lip to protect me. With such a mother, I absolutely wouldn't let her suffer the tragedy of my past life again. If I told her now that I had been reborn, it would surely be unbelievable. Second brother, is this how you raise your children? She has no manners at all. What is a child doing interrupting when adults are talking? Third uncle glared at me furiously, almost lunging to hit me. I clearly saw Lily, though feigning fear and hiding behind third uncle, looking at me with a challenging, triumphant gaze. I gave a cold laugh. If gentle persuasion doesn't work, are you going to resort to force? My dad quickly pulled me behind him, his face full of apology. She's just a child. She's afraid someone will take our affection away from her. Third brother, please let it go. Third uncle sneered. Don't think a bit of leftover money makes you a rich young lady. Let me tell you, Lily absolutely must be raised by your family. First brother was closest to you in life, so it's only right that you take care of Lily. My dad looked at me with a troubled expression, hesitating. In our family, Dad deeply respected my opinions, even though I was just a child. He gave me a level of respect many parents couldn't. But my dad had one major weakness, his soft heart. Seeing his expression, which seemed to be wavering, I was furious, but a child has to use a child's methods. I immediately threw myself on the ground, crying and whining. I don't want a sister. I don't want her. She'll steal my mommy and daddy. She'll steal my dresses and my toys. I don't want her. If you make me, I'll die right here for you to see. Everyone was astonished. After all, in their eyes, I had always been a well-behaved little girl who never threw unreasonable tantrums. My mother panicked, perhaps thinking I was disturbed by something at the cemetery. She picked me up and pulled my dad away. Let's talk about this later. Daisy seems unwell. We need to take her home and have her checked first. Before leaving, I saw clear resentment in Lily's eyes. Such a young child, yet with such terrifying eyes. I should have realized sooner, but in my past life, I was just a child. What could I have known? In the car, my mother tried to soothe me while speaking worriedly to my dad. Husband, let's go find a shaman. There's something strange about Daisy. My dad, also full of anxiety, was about to ask who knew the best shaman. I immediately calmed down and said, Mom, Dad, let's just go home. I'm hungry. Indeed, the matter of rebirth couldn't be revealed, but I could only do my best to prevent Lily from entering my home. In truth, my dad had never been loved by my paternal grandparents since he was a child. He had an older brother and a younger brother, but he, the second child, was always ignored. My dad was honest and often bullied. If he hadn't studied hard and diligently, how could he have built such a great career? In my memory, after Dad became successful, my paternal grandparents and Dad became closer. As for first uncle, third uncle, and the others, whenever something happened, they'd come to our house, mostly to borrow money. Currently, first uncle still owed our family 200,000 yuan. Every time my mom brought it up, my dad would say, "He's gone now, leaving behind only an orphan daughter. Life will be hard enough for her." But my dad didn't know that everyone knew about this, yet they deliberately didn't want to see our family doing well. So they stood on a moral high ground to criticize our family. Recalling their expressions, I felt disgusted. In my past life, after my family died, Lily inherited most of our assets, giving the rest to those relatives to silence them. Everyone knew exactly how my family had died. In this life, I not only vowed never to trust those hypocrites again, but I also wanted my dad to stop being so naive. Daisy, are you all right? What's wrong with you after all? I suddenly remembered that my parents were a bit superstitious, so I decided to start from this point. I put my hand to my forehead, pretending my head was about to burst from pain. I don't know why, but whenever my cousin gets close, I feel like I'm going to die. My whole body aches. The moment the words left my mouth, my parents' expressions turned serious. They looked at each other, full of suspicion. Could it be that Lily clashes with Daisy? Or is she some kind of ill omen? Otherwise, first brother and his wife wouldn't have met such a terrible end. My mother stopped mid-sentence because my dad looked displeased. After all, that was his biological elder brother. Seeing my dad still hesitating, I quickly cried, looking at him, "Dad, I always see a very scary dark shadow behind my cousin." This time, my dad half believed me, and from then on, he never mentioned adopting Lily again. I thought that in this life, my family could finally escape the tragic death at Lily's hands. Unexpectedly, a month later, third uncle brought Lily to our house. It happened to be my mother's birthday, and the housekeeper had prepared a table laden with delicacies. Our whole family was happily gathered together. Second brother, don't be so unreasonable. My family is struggling. Raising one son is hard enough. Now with Lily staying at our place, and you, his younger brother, don't even care to ask how we are, just sitting here eating and drinking well. Third uncle started shouting the moment he entered. Lily chimed in, kneeling and crying pitifully. Anyone who didn't know would think he was selling his own child to pay for funeral expenses. Second uncle, please have mercy on me. Just give me a bite to eat, a place to shelter from the rain and sun. You can even treat me like a dog, and I'll still repay your kindness when I grow up. Hearing that, the food in my mouth suddenly lost all its flavor. I clearly saw Lily and third uncle exchanging glances. It seemed they had already rehearsed their lines before coming here. Third uncle had always been a loafer. Whenever he ran out of money, he'd come to our house and bother my dad. My dad, unable to bear seeing his younger brother suffer, would secretly give him money each time, not a small amount in front of Mom and me, and even more behind our backs. This had only fostered third uncle's lazy habits, but this time, he brought Lily back. Clearly, he had already taken all of first uncle's compensation money. Now that it was all spent, he was back, targeting our family again. My dad put down his chopsticks somewhat awkwardly and said, "Have you two eaten yet? Why don't you sit down and have something?" From the moment they entered, third uncle and Lily's eyes had been glued to the dining table, swallowing saliva constantly. Third aunt and their child, my cousin, dove in, devouring the food as if they'd never seen anything so delicious. Third uncle and Lily maintained their pitiful expressions, saying, "Second brother, your family eats so well. Just the leftovers would be enough to feed me. I truly don't eat much. I beg you, please adopt Lily." Lily banged her head forcefully on the floor, the sound startling those who heard it. Anyone who didn't know would think we were abusing her. Just eating scraps would be enough to feed her. If I hadn't personally witnessed Lily spending our family's money in my past life, ordering dozens of dishes for each meal, and only taking one bite from each, treating herself like Empress Dowager Cixi, I might have believed her lies. My family had never been so extravagant, but Lily managed it. She never considered herself an outsider. My dad was in a difficult position. After all, Lily was still a young girl, and she spoke such earnest words that anyone would be moved. Moreover, he had a daughter around Lily's age. Putting himself in her shoes, he certainly wouldn't have the heart to refuse. I weakly stood up, my voice whiny. "Today is Mom's birthday. That's why our family is eating so well. Normally, we never have such opportunities. If we take Lily in, that's extra expenses for food, clothes, school, and later, when she gets married, we'll have to prepare a dowry. Third uncle, Dad has already given you a lot of money before, at least 700,000 to 800,000, plus first uncle's compensation money. Our family has saved so much just to be able to raise Lily. Third uncle, when will you transfer the money back?" What do children know? They only listen to what adults say. My words were half-truth, half-fabrication, but they certainly struck a nerve with third uncle. He immediately flew into a rage, flipping over the dining table. The sound of smashing plates and dishes echoed throughout the house. Third aunt and my cousin, still holding chicken drumsticks and shrimps in their mouths, stared blankly at third uncle. "Second brother, didn't you say you wouldn't tell the family that you gave me money? How can you say one thing and do another now? I never thought you were this kind of person." My dad stared at me, stunned. He had never mentioned this in front of me, but this was something I had learned after my death in my past life. And a child's words are often more easily believed. My mother stood aside, her face cold. She had long been dissatisfied with third uncle, but out of respect for my dad, she hadn't found it appropriate to be stern. Yes, our family has money, but it's the fruit of my parents' hard work. Why should a loafer like third uncle brazenly come to our house demanding money? And Lily, such a young child, yet so cunning and manipulative. If she weren't pulling the strings behind the scenes, would someone as simple-minded and physically developed as third uncle dare to come to our door himself? Third uncle, when our family was well off before, didn't I help you out a bit? Didn't you say we're family to share good fortune and bad? Now our family is tens of millions in debt. Can you see if you can help us out a bit? Third uncle's face instantly changed. These were the exact words he had once said. Now that I was echoing them, why was he changing his tune? This brat, so young and already so cunning, with no respect for elders. Saying this, third uncle raised his hand to slap me, but my dad quickly grabbed his wrist. Perhaps at this very moment, my dad truly saw third uncle's nature. Although he valued family ties, he was still the CEO of a company. He wasn't stupid. I needed third uncle to anger my dad, and it had succeeded. My dad valued family ties, but the others didn't. Otherwise, why had third uncle never truly called my dad second brother all these years? In their eyes, my dad was just an ATM. When good things happened in our hometown, no one remembered our family. But whenever there was trouble, such as our paternal grandparents being sick and needing hospital fees or house repairs, all expenses were borne by my dad. They didn't even contribute a single cent. Even the assets my paternal grandparents left after they died, my dad didn't receive a dime. When my mom brought this up, my dad would just laugh and say, "We're all family. Why calculate so meticulously?" Even regarding Lily losing both parents, everyone assumed our family should adopt her. That, of course, attitude disgusted me. If I didn't stir things up in this life, I feared they would continue to gloss over everything as before. You can talk, but why raise your hand to a child? Daisy is right. If you want me to adopt Lily, then let's clearly calculate all the previous debts, your debt, first brother's debt. I'm not an idiot. When my company faced losses, I never relied on you brothers. Now that my family is in trouble, you brothers should help out, shouldn't you? My dad's voice was firm, no longer as meek as before. I had gambled on my position in my dad's heart compared to these leeches, and I had bet correctly. My mom smiled contentedly, but Lily began her tricks again. Second uncle, third uncle, please don't argue because of me anymore. I'll go to the Welfare Institute myself. I won't bother you anymore. I know you all don't like me. I deserve to be abandoned. I'm sorry. As she spoke, Lily cried and tried to run out, but my dad quickly pulled her back. He was still soft-hearted. I immediately cut in. Sister, keep your money. Don't you still have your maternal grandparents? I'm sure they'd be thrilled to have you back. In my past life, Lily's maternal grandparents actually wanted to adopt her. They had come to our house many times, but Lily scorned them, saying they lived in the countryside in mere mud huts, unworthy of her. My reminder made my dad remember something. He quickly nodded. That's right, your mother's parents even called before, asking about you. They want to take you home. Lily's face turned pale, her lips trembling. They're old. I don't want to bother them, I secretly sneered. Sister, the money your family owes ours, I'll consider it settled. Our family is struggling, but you're even worse off. This is just a small token of our family's goodwill for you. After all, we're outsiders. You probably wouldn't be comfortable staying with us. Besides, our house is about to be repossessed by the bank. At that point, you'd have to wander from place to place with us. I couldn't bear that. I spoke in one breath, and not only did Lily's expression change, but even my parents looked at me in astonishment. Finally, to prevent Lily from continuing to cling to our family, I told Dad to call her maternal grandparents. Not long after, Lily's maternal uncle arrived and took her away. Third uncle's whole family looked at my dad, feeling guilty. Second brother, look, I really don't have any money right now. I'll pay you back when I do. Saying this, third uncle tried to slip away. I quickly ran into the room to get paper and a pen. Third uncle, my teachers say that if there's a debt, there must be a debt agreement. Please write one, including the repayment date. That's what a good person does. Third uncle glared at me angrily, then turned to my dad with a forced smile. Second brother, you're not like that girl Daisy, are you? We're brothers by blood. Calculating everything so precisely, won't that sever our relationship? My dad, as if reminded, said coldly, write the debt agreement, so everyone can rest assured. In the end, despite his reluctance, third uncle had to write it. He didn't dare to completely sever ties with us yet, unsure if our family was truly in financial trouble. As he left, third uncle glared at me fiercely, as if to warn me to just wait. But now, I was no longer afraid. I was someone who had climbed out of hell. In this life, I only wanted to protect my family and myself. Daisy, what's really wrong with you? Tell us clearly. My dad called me over sternly. My mom also looked at me, full of expectation. The gaze of both of them made me feel a little scared and also realized that I truly hadn't acted like a child at all. My words and actions were completely beyond what an 8-year-old could do. There was no other way. Even if I was considered strange, I had to be clear. I honestly told my parents about my rebirth. After listening, their expressions became complex, a mix of shock and disbelief, but above all, deep indignation. "We're sorry, Daisy, your mom and dad couldn't protect you." My mother believed me without a moment's hesitation. She hugged me close. My dad also sighed, saying, "I can't believe we treated them so genuinely, only to receive such a terrible outcome. If I had known they would believe me so quickly, I wouldn't have needed to devise so many schemes." It turned out my parents could trust me unconditionally. Otherwise, they wouldn't have cooperated with my act just now. When I said our family was in trouble, even about to lose our house, my parents didn't show any suspicion or objection, nor did they expose me. This was what a true family was. No suspicion, only minor disagreements, but never a major rift. Knowing what would happen, my family decided to move out of the villa to make the act more complete. I knew that with Lily and third uncle's personalities, they wouldn't easily let our family go. So, the villa was rented out, and our whole family moved to a dilapidated apartment with simple furnishings in a cheap rental complex. My dad held my mom's hand, his eyes full of pity. "It's all because of these relatives, making you two suffer." My mom and I just smiled. "As long as you're by our side, we've never felt hardship." "That's right. As long as the three of us were together, even eating sparingly, we'd still be happier." Moreover, this situation wouldn't last long, as it was just an act. Very quickly, rumors of our family's bankruptcy spread throughout the relatives. Those who used to curry favor with us now avoided us, afraid we'd borrow money. Seizing this opportunity, we collected the money we had lent them before. They all thought our family was down on our luck and feared that a person with nothing to lose wouldn't hesitate to walk barefoot, so they'd rather pay us back to sever ties. I put all that money into my own account as pocket money. Third uncle, who used to visit our house 4 times a week, now wanted to pretend we didn't exist. He owed our family the most money. The best way to deal with rascals is to be even more rascal-like than them. My mom, who was unemployed, started going to third uncle's house every day to eat and live as if it were her own. After a month, third aunt finally couldn't take it anymore and gave my mom a portion of first uncle's compensation money that they had kept from Lily. My mom was satisfied and immediately used that money to buy a handbag. When third uncle returned and found out, he immediately went to the family chat group to rant. "Second brother, how can you be such an immoral person? My family is almost out of food, and you still come demanding debt. I can't believe your former kindness was all fake. Now I see your true colors. Don't say you're my brother anymore. I don't have a heartless, ruthless brother like you." When someone who always suffers losses no longer wants to, the balance will be lost. I hoped that after this, my dad would clearly see their true faces. Third uncle continued to write lengthy messages in the group. When I opened my phone to check, it was flooded with messages. Lily also interjected, saying, "Third uncle, I don't think second uncle meant it. Second uncle's family is bankrupt, that's why they need money. I'm sure they'll pay it back later." She really knew how to smooth things over, making it seem like everything was fine. Third uncle knew he was in the wrong, but if he couldn't vent his anger, he wouldn't be satisfied. He continued to mock, "Your second uncle is very calculating now. He said there was no need to pay back before, but now he's demanding it. How generous of him," he added. "If my family wasn't so incapable, I definitely would have adopted you. Not like some selfish person who wouldn't even take in their own niece. Truly a dog tamed by Lily." Did third uncle really think Lily was a gentle girl? Lily deliberately left the compensation money with him, but certainly not because she was naive. I hadn't expected third aunt to use that compensation money to pay our family back. My mom only told me about this later. It was like burying a hidden bomb. Third uncle was still ranting in the family chat group. My dad wasn't good at arguing, but he was clearly heartbroken. So I took my dad's phone and left the group, doing the same with my mom's and my own accounts. Arguing back and forth was meaningless, and in this world, who would ever admit they were wrong? When I met Lily again at school, I almost forgot that we attended the same school. Lily no longer had her glamorous appearance. She wore old, rustic clothes, while I was still surrounded by people, simply because my family had money and I treated others well. Although Lily was 2 years older than me, first uncle had deliberately made her start school 2 years late, with the intention of making my dad pay her tuition and other expenses. As a result, she was in the same class as me but was always regarded by everyone as a superfluous existence, older in age, poor in academic performance. In my past life, before she murdered my family, Lily had once furiously told me, "It's all your fault for making me start school 2 years late. Why didn't you make Daisy start 2 years early? The most important years for my development were ruined by you." It was clearly first uncle's fault, but Lily blamed everything on us. More than 10 years of care returned with endless hatred. This family was truly bottomlessly greedy. "Daisy, how was your summer vacation? Did you go abroad?" My deskmate asked curiously, pulling my arm. I was about to explain my family's situation, but Lily cut in with a snide tone. "That rich young lady's family you all know went bankrupt a long time ago. Don't expect her to have the chance to go abroad anymore." Everyone turned to look at Lily in astonishment. Lily must have thought these people only associated with me because my family was rich. I looked at Lily as if she were an idiot, calmly replying, "That's right, our family isn't even as rich as yours anymore." Lily smugly lifted her head and told my friends, "You treated me badly before, but I don't hold grudges. It's still not too late for you to come curry favor with me now. After all, I have tens of thousands in my hands. I can buy snacks for you all." After she finished speaking, she must have been waiting for everyone to flock around her, but after a long wait, no one moved. My deskmate even snorted a laugh. "Is she sick? Who doesn't have money? That's right, this is an elite school. Every student's family has some means. Who would betray Daisy for Lily's loose change?" Lily angrily stomped her foot, stood up, and yelled, "Don't you dare regret this. Daisy is now dirt poor, she can't even beg enough to eat. She implicates you later, don't blame me for not warning you." But no one bothered to look at Lily again. They only turned to me, asking concernedly, "Daisy, is your family okay? If you need anything, I'll tell my dad to increase your allowance." "My family can help too, Daisy, just say the word." The "increase allowance" actually meant investing more in my family. Hearing these warm words, I felt touched but only shook my head and said, "I remember. If I need help, I'll find you guys." Lily, at this point, could no longer endure it. She stood up and loudly cursed, "You idiots who don't know my value." In my heart, I secretly laughed. When the top isn't straight, the bottom goes crooked. With such greedy and selfish parents, their children couldn't be any better. Things were peaceful for a while, but I knew Lily wouldn't let it go easily. Sure enough, I don't know who advised her, but Lily posted her entire story online, claiming that my family refused to adopt her and took all of her parents' compensation money. Third uncle even came forward to corroborate the story, leading to our family being fiercely attacked online, so much so that my mom was afraid to go out and only ate delivered food for several days straight. My dad was so worried he kept pacing, muttering, "Why would that girl do this? We didn't know the money third uncle returned was Lily's compensation money." Only I was calmly sitting on the sofa, eating bread and watching TV. Because schoolwork was too easy, I finally had an excuse to lounge around at home. My mom was so annoyed she almost screamed. "Daisy, how can you still be in the mood to watch TV? Your dad is worried sick." I lazily glanced up and said, "Just let public opinion boil for a while longer." My parents looked at each other, confused but said nothing more. Things escalated further. Our house received all sorts of packages, ancestral tablets, wreaths, and we were even harassed with threatening phone calls and messages. Someone even threw rocks, shattering our windows. Because of this, the landlord repeatedly came to find our family. The landlord finally evicted our entire family. The three of us dragged our luggage down the street, walking and laughing loudly. "Is this all she's got?" Lily sent a message. "How does it feel? How does it feel to be kicked out of your home? This is karma for not adopting me." I showed the message to my parents. Lily was truly an idiot, thinking everything was under her control. I didn't reply because there was no need. After all, we had been evicted from the rented house. Now it was time to return to our villa. Living a common life was truly unpleasant. Back home, I told my dad to contact the company's legal department to send a lawyer's letter to Lily and all involved parties. At the same time, we posted an announcement on the company website about third uncle's past loans, along with evidence of the money third uncle had previously transferred to Lily's account. A child and a simple-minded person doing this truly lowered my family's IQ. Soon, public opinion turned. Lily was expelled from school. I heard her maternal uncle, too ashamed, took her back to their hometown. As for third uncle, when he learned that our family wasn't actually bankrupt, he completely abandoned his dignity, came to our house, knelt, slapped himself repeatedly, and explained, "It was all that wicked Lily's fault. She instigated everything. I had no ill intentions." I wondered, did Lily naturally possess such cunning, or was she also a reborn individual? Her methods didn't seem like those of a child her age, yet sometimes she acted naive and immature, leaving me unsure. Anyway, after Lily was taken away and my dad cut ties with third uncle, our family life returned to peace. Time passed and I matured. Thanks to my past life's memories and my own efforts, I skipped grades repeatedly, finally earning my master's degree at the age of 20. I heard Lily continued to struggle in school. By the time she graduated high school, her maternal grandparents had passed away. Her maternal uncle, after tricking her out of the remaining compensation money, also abandoned her. One time, I went to karaoke with friends. The moment I walked in, I saw Lily, heavily made up and dressed glamorously. Just by looking, you knew what she did for a living. When she saw me, her eyes were full of hatred, unable to hide her resentment. Among my friends, a male student named Alex once really liked Lily, but back then, Lily was always picky, despising Alex because he looked ordinary and his family wasn't wealthy. Now, times had changed. The person she once looked down on was now out of her reach. Throughout the evening, Lily barely spoke, only looking at me with eyes full of resentment, humiliation, and unwillingness. I just gave a cold laugh. In my past life, my family had given her a good life, but she hadn't appreciated it. Now, she was finally experiencing the suffering of life, but it was all too late. That evening, our class chat group was buzzing. Alex shared Lily's chat with him. "Alex, I know you like me. You want me, don't you? Please accept me." Alex frantically messaged the group, "What do I do? I'm so scared." Everyone in the group started offering ideas. Say yes, then run away later, or just don't reply. But immediately after, Alex sent another screenshot. "I'm pregnant. Please marry me. I'll give you all the money I earn later." The whole group exploded. "Old Alex, she wants you to be a stand-in dad. Or marry her, wait for her to give birth, then run." The chat group roared with laughter. Only one weak voice interjected, "Don't be too mean. After all, Lily is Daisy's cousin." The atmosphere was silent for a moment. I wiped my hands after washing them and typed back, "She and I are not acquainted." My words made the whole group burst into laughter again and continue to mock Lily. Such events were rare in our group, but Lily had once bluntly rejected and humiliated Alex when he confessed, even mocking him repeatedly, which had led Alex to show signs of depression. Today's taunts were simply karma for what Lily had sown. I don't know what ultimately happened between Alex and Lily, but I knew Alex was a kind person and certainly wouldn't follow his friend's cruel suggestions. In the end, Alex made everything clear to Lily and decisively cut off all contact. Afterwards, someone in the class group chatted that Lily couldn't find anyone to take responsibility, so she went to an illegal clinic, and the result was that she almost lost her life. I was no longer interested in learning more about her life, because at this point, my dad had officially handed over the company to me. After the handover ceremony, our family of 3 celebrated at home. We drank a little wine and fell into a deep sleep. In my dream, I saw myself being burned again. I crawled through the sea of fire, screaming for help, trying to escape. I held onto my past self and whispered, "This time, I won't let you die." Immediately after, Lily's fierce face appeared, startling me awake. I didn't know if it was a hallucination, but I even smelled gasoline, exactly like in my past life. Having learned a costly lesson, I instantly became vigilant and quickly woke up my parents. The 3 of us rushed outside, only to find a woman dressed in black, wearing a baseball cap that largely obscured her face, pouring gasoline around the villa. "Lily?" I asked coldly from behind her. Lily screamed in fright, the can of gasoline in her hand falling to the ground. "How are you all still alive?" I gave a faint smile. "We only got drunk, not died. Besides, a little champagne couldn't kill anyone." Lily suddenly burst into mad laughter. "Daisy, you think just because you found me you'll escape death? I've killed you once. I can kill you a second time. Everything was originally mine, you people stole everything. Your whole family deserves to die? As she spoke, she pulled out a lighter. The flame immediately illuminated Lily's twisted face. My heart clenched. Lily had also been reborn. Even so, I still said coldly, "Then why didn't you beg me for help this time? Why didn't my family adopt you? All the suffering you're enduring today is your own doing." Saying this, Lily raised the lighter, intending to throw it to the ground. I immediately lunged, tackling her to the ground and snatching the lighter away. Fortunately, she was so cheap she hadn't bought a windproof lighter, so the fire hadn't caught. Lily's plan had completely failed. As she was being led away by the police, she kept cursing, "Daisy, you won't die a peaceful death, you'll go to hell." I let out a sigh of relief and gently waved at her. "I've already climbed out of hell. Now it's your turn to go down." For attempted murder, Lily was sentenced to prison, but it wasn't long before the police reported that she had died in prison. Lily's personality made it impossible for her to live well anywhere. In prison, everyone shunned and hated her. One day, she used a sharpened toothbrush to attack someone else, but ultimately ended up stabbing herself in the neck, leading to excessive blood loss and death. When I received the call from the police, I was sitting in my office. The heavy stone pressing on my heart finally fell away. From then on, my family and I would only have good days ahead.